What's the word, everybody? What's the word? You know what it is, man. It's the
Yes,
best
sir.
wrestling podcast in the world, man. It's your boy Lil
Yeah.
Derek. I got
Yeah.
Les Hardy Jr. with me, and we got a very, very special guest. This one is almost a year in the making. This was one of the first guests that I wanted to bring on, and we finally getting it done, man.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marcus, Big Munch.
Come
Yes,
on.
sir.
How you living, my boy? How you living, man?
Man, I can't complain, man. Moving and grooving, just staying busy, staying active, man. Can't even really complain. I really ain't got no complaints at all, for real, for real.
That's what we're
That's
talking about.
That's a blessing, man. That's a blessing, man. I'm looking at your wall and I'm peeping all the your wall looking like my wall back there. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we gonna get to the rest of this shit. I gotta ask you this first, then. What? Give me your top five anime favorites.
Top
Favorites. It ain't your top
top
five
five
favorite
favorites.
anime. Yeah.
I bet. So the one that's behind my shoulder right here with the girl with the green hair,
Yeah.
Code Geass. That one, aside from your regular ones like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, like the ones they showed like on Kids WB and stuff like that.
Yeah. The shit that the
That
American ones that we grew up on type
you
That's
know what I'm
shit.
saying? That was one of the first ones that I really like tapped into when I was like real young. And it was like one of those ones I seen like randomly on like Cartoon Network. I don't know if it was on the Toonami block or the Adult Swim block, but I seen this shit. I was like, wait a minute, this shit is damn near like Gundam, but the dude had he got the Gia side, and I was like, oh, this shit is like he got like powers like Sasuke and shit. So that was one of the ones that like really hooked me in, and I was like, okay, so it's more anime than just Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z. You know, I can watch other stuff. And then Cole Geass, the one right under the straw hat, Jolly Roger over there. That was one my big homie Benny put me on, and it was one of those ones I was like, wait a minute, it's another mech anime, but he was like, nah, it's deeper than that. Like it's about like evolution, like human evolution and everything like that. So once I started watching that, and like it's a tearjerker, I ain't gonna front, because once you get past that first arc, and then it like when everybody grow up and it started like getting to like the real nitty gritty shit, like that was one of those ones. So them two, obviously One Piece, because the whole top row was nothing but
Yeah,
One
I'm
Piece
peeping
Roger, the
it.
hats.
I'm peeping it.
Berserk. I'm not gonna get into it, but if you
Ooh,
know, you know.
yeah.
If you know, you know. And
That's a niche one. That's literally like a if you know anime for sure.
for real, that was one my brother had put me on, and like I never like saw it when like it first came out, because like back in the 90s it came on and it just like stopped out of nowhere, like at the end. It was
Yeah.
like how in Infinity War, when Thanos won, and everybody was like, "Oh wait, this is it. The villain just win, and it's over with." That's how he told me Berserk was back in the 90s. So
Right.
them, and then I would say my number five, man. I gotta keep it true to Yu-Gi-Oh, man. I gotta keep it true because
Oh, okay. I
I
like that
I ain't even
list.
gonna I ain't even gonna get into it, but man, like Yu-Gi-Oh's on the one, because the first like when Yu-Gi-Oh first hit the States, I wasn't even really like into it for real, because I was like, it came on WB and I was like, all right, I don't know what this ain't Pokemon, this ain't Static Shock, turn this shit off. But
Yeah.
then I just sat and watched it one day, and then I just see them playing the cards and stuff, and then I'm like, wait a minute, it's a card game to this. So I like, before I even had like my first pair, like my first pair, I'm talking like it's some shoes. Before I even had my first pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, bro, I was like drawing out like bad sketches of like Yu-Gi-Oh cards I would just see on TV until I
Yeah.
got my like first pack, and then I just started collecting them and stuff. I wish I would have kept all my original prints, because I know they would be worth some money right now. But yeah, I have
Hold
to
on,
say
hold
that's
on,
my
hold on. I
list.
don't want to interrupt you because I was gonna get to
Yeah,
the chat. Oh, hold on, Liz. You gotta put that last one up there because
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you to connect some dots with this person for me,
yeah,
Camaro Jackson. If you watching still, we want you on to say I quit podcast too. He says you just a number, my man. Hold on. He
okay,
said you just another number on his crazy reign because that match is this
man.
Saturday, right? Let's
Yeah,
that match is this Saturday for a Pro Wrestling Interstate Championship. I
yep,
haven't got to. Unfortunately, the matches the shows that I've been to for PWE, I haven't got to see Camaro in person. but I've heard
Mhm.
nothing but amazing things about him from my uncle Jonathan Zulu, from Benjamin Trust, who we just had on this
Yeah.
podcast as well.
Shout
And
out to the Jet, man. Get well soon, dog. We miss you, bro. We miss you in the locker room, bro. But yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm trying to put my personal feelings aside because at the end of the day, this is just business. But with Camaro Jackson, man, him saying that I'm just a number, and y'all will probably see a little bit later because we cut the promo earlier today. It'll probably be up later tonight, if not tomorrow morning. But in the promo, you will hear me say that, you know, he says that I'm just another number. But the whole thing about that is like he's thinking me as just another number of everyone else that he's like gone through during this whole year reign. But he don't realize that I'm probably the one number that has like all the questions and all the like the inside, like, you know, the inside links to like the chink in his armor, you know what I'm saying? Because aside from us being in the ring, Camaro, one of my trainers, you know what I'm saying? One of my trainers when I was first coming up in the game. So he basically built the biggest threat to his championship, and we gonna see how this goes. So regardless, you know what I'm saying, regardless of the outcome, they damn near gonna have to like stretch me out if it get to that. But I'm not gonna let it get to that because he knows that I'm a 1-to-1. He knows that I'm one of the most known of the unknowns. That he knows I'm a real bad mother. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
above all,
Sweet.
anything else, when he talking about I'm just another number, I am a number. He's halfway right. I'm the one number that he ain't gonna have no choice but to honor, and he gonna see that this Saturday. Whether regardless of the outcome, he gonna understand that this one number is the one that got his number. Dig what I'm saying?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it. Hey,
Yeah,
you spitting fire, man. You spitting fire. Shout out to
you
Reed
know,
Starks, one of our other co-hosts. He
for
can't be here
sure.
tonight. He at work right now. Shout out to Big Bro T Dubbo, a St. Louis legend, man. For real,
Mob,
for real. Like he said, you can't eat with me. You know, I got the merch
no,
though, man. You can't eat with us,
hell
man. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? You can't eat with us. Big Munch over here.
You know what
So
I'm saying?
Come on.
you talked a little bit about your training. Uh
Mm,
let's go back and rewind the clock even further. I can tell that like you grew up on anime. A lot of the shows that I grew up on, you mentioned
yeah,
old school Gundam, man. I'm a Gundam guy too. Like that's how long I've been, tapped into like animes. Of
hell
course,
yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh. I used to have like the Yu-Gi-Oh battle disc. They go on your wrist and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I had
Yes,
it all for Yu-Gi-Oh.
yes.
Like that was my shit. But
Man, I need to find that new one that they just put out. They put out the one for the 25th anniversary, and I know
oh
it's at a bunch of Rosses and stuff. But man, I wish younger me would have been like, yo, hold on to all this stuff. It's gonna get
bruh,
value.
I don't know where
Man,
mine is, bro, and that shit eats me up. Like my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, all that shit
mm-hmm. I
that
know
we
what
was
mine at.
collecting as kids. I'm
eBay.
like, bruh, why did like where did I leave it at? Which house did I leave it at? You know what I'm saying? You know, mugs move as a kid. You ain't really got no choice. You probably done
Yeah,
forgot something. There ain't no going back to get it once you gone. It's like so. Yeah, those are definitely mm, big things that like or a part of my childhood that I wish I kept. But
for
one
sure.
thing that I read in I think it was your Voyage interview. I dabbled in it a little bit.
Yeah.
So wrestling was something that you got into at a very very young age.
hmm it was one time back when we still lived in the Central West End in my grandparents' house, man. It was like one time, like, I can't remember if it was like the Slammy Awards when they had it on like TV and stuff, or if it was just like a regular award show. But the only thing I remember is Stone Cold was coming out to introduce like some awards or like some nominees or somebody, and he just stunners the guy. And then like, and mind you, like I was born in '94, so at that time I want to say I had to been like no older than like 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like, okay, if it wasn't then, I always remember having this little yo-yo, and every time I would fling the yo-yo out, it would make like a stone cold crack, like the glass break. It would always make that sound whenever I
That's
flung the
tough.
yo-yo out. You know what I'm saying? But like growing up, shoot, we didn't have like after we moved from the first place we was in the Central West End to the second place we was in the Central West End, we didn't really have cable. So I would only catch like those highlights where they would show like stuff that happened on Raw or SmackDown like during the week, because they would have like a show that would come on after the Saturday morning lineup on Kids WB. They'll have a little show that would show everything that happened during the week. And again, I'm young at the time. I'm not really tapping into it like that, but I always remember seeing those like that. But again, we didn't have cable until we moved over here to the north back in 06. And it was like one time it was what was that match? It was Rey Mysterio and Chavo Guerrero in an I Quit match. And this had to be like '06. This everything was quote unquote gravy before they flipped the switch, and we ain't gonna get into the switch. If you know, you know. But but nah, I remember watching that match, and from then on, every Monday, every Friday, whether they moved a show to Tuesday or Thursday, I was on it ever since then. And then the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? We took wrestling from being just like a hobby and something I was watching to now actually like training and being in the ring, the field with it. So yeah.
That's dope to see, man. So when did you come to that like realization that like this is what I want to do?
Man, I think it had to be when it probably was when right before leaving middle school going into high school. And you know, parents, all the elders in your family, they ask you, what do you want to do? What do you want to go to school for? All that. My answers were never like accepted. You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling them, I want to be a wrestler. They were like, pick something else. I was like, okay, I want to be a music producer, because aside from wrestling, like I love music. Like I'm always listening to music, checking out like different beats, instrumentals, samples, even singing to a degree. So I was like, all right, I'll do music producing. They was like, pick something else. So I just said like a BS answer. I was like, yo, look, computer engineer. I don't know. So then they ended up shipping me to Carnahan, and that's where I was at for all 4 years of my high school career. But wrestling never left the forefront of my mind. I always was like, I want to end up doing something in wrestling, or whether it was wrestling or being involved in it somehow. I wanted to do something. So, which is funny because I didn't realize, like, even going to Carnahan, because we didn't have wrestling at my high school. We only had football, basketball, soccer, track and field, the basically the basics of the sports. But they didn't tell me until my senior year that I could have wrestled for another school and still went to Carnahan. So that was a bummer. But had I known, I would have been on that.
Hey,
but,
you probably would have been a beast at mat wrestling, bro.
you
probably would have been unstoppable for real.
I do always say, like, because I look at some of my homies that actually learn like mat wrestling and collegiate wrestling. Like I look at them and I'm like, I wish I would have got on that when I was younger, because I probably would have had a leg up, you know what I'm saying, on the competition and everything. But it is what it is. We live and we learn. So but yeah, I ended up looking up different wrestling schools around, and at the time, I'm not driving, but I found this one school, Dynamo Pro. Started at Dynamo Pro, and then off and on had a shaky start just due to life, and not really being consistent with it, not really being like locked in like how I needed to be. So I ended up taking like stints and breaks, which is what delayed my debut of actually like debuting in the business. But then eventually things got a little bit better. We got a little bit more consistent and got locked in. So ended up debuting technically in May of 2021, but I did do a battle royal right in the middle of COVID, actually. It was what was it, man? I think it was September 5th, 2020 was when I actually had I was actually in a match in front of people. So even though some people will say like, it's when you actually had like an actual like match, I'm like, nah, we was inside and we actually had the opportunity to be outside and like with folks and actually like had a crowd, regardless if it was a fair show or whatever. I actually had the opportunity to wrestle, and it was like huge for me. So I will always count that as, you know what I'm saying, my debut. So we technically 5 years in the business now. Been training, been training I'll say really since like 2018. I don't really count the 2017 year because that was the year when I was really like off and on, not really like locked in and consistent and everything. But yeah, been training in it since 2018. Had that match in 2020, and yeah, we here now.
Wow,
That's dope to see.
that's
That's dope
fire.
to see. You
Yeah,
got something,
appreciate
Les?
that.
Yeah, I wanted to, because I did read one of your interviews, and
Mhm.
you had compared like pro wrestling or just like indie wrestling to being an artist or being an entrepreneur. And
Yeah.
you said that you got to spend money to make money. So I wanted to
Mhm.
know, like, what do you feel like was your smartest investment like in your whole career so far?
Man, honestly, honestly, it would be between just like saving up just to have like get like training gear and everything like that, or honestly a car. Honestly,
Mm,
especially being an indie wrestler, because most of your time once you get leveled up and then your trainers give you the goal to actually start taking bookings, having matches and stuff like that. And whether you hop in car loads or you the one that's driving or whatever, that car is essential. So even
yeah,
just getting back and forth to training, that car make a hell of a difference, especially if you go into places that don't have like public transits or anything like that. That car is a hell of an investment. So
mm,
granted, my first car was a pass down, but regardless, I still had to put in the maintenance on it, put in the gas on it and everything like that. So I always count that as an investment. So yeah, I think I'll say that probably would be my best investment was that car, honestly.
mm.
Granted, that mug broke down. We 3 cars later. That car ain't around no more, but it got the job done.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. And I love that comparison too. I know why Les highlighted that because I know I've said this before in previous interviews. I know me and you probably first met
Mm,
at Sophie's Artist Lounge. I probably told you this as well, but all three of us, me, Les, and Reed, we are independent artists. We are
Mhm.
music
yeah.
artists. We're hip hop artists. So like we always see those parallels between an indie wrestler and the things that you all have to do
Every day.
to the
Mm-hmm.
things that we have to do to succeed, which one of the big things is either spending money or learning how to do all of these things for yourself. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Because
Yeah.
essentially, as an indie wrestler, you're like your own booking agent. You handle all of those things yourself, just like we do as indie artists. Like we're kind of our own managers and booking agents. We're our own
Mm-hmm.
financial advisors. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Man.
have to handle all of these things ourselves to put ourselves in the best position to be successful. So I
Right.
think we always being indie artists that are grinding and getting a name for themselves. I know you've been seeing all the stuff that I've been doing, you know what I'm saying, and
For
you've been
sure.
you support always, you know what I'm saying. I appreciate that, and
Yeah.
you the grinds are very very parallel, you know what I'm saying. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the dopest things about us getting the chance to interview indie wrestlers right now.
Mhm.
Like, of course, love to interview guys in WWE and stuff like that, but because
Right.
they've had this grind. But
Mm-hmm.
the parallels between like where I'm at in my career and you are at in your career are so, you know what I'm saying, where we are all at in our careers being indie artists
Yeah.
and being indie wrestlers, it's so similar. The time and effort, the sleepless nights, the long trips on the road, the
Right.
Yeah.
time away from family, you know what I'm saying? Just so
Facts.
many obstacles that most people cannot handle. But like they always
Mm-hmm.
say, the strong survive, and everything not meant
Absolutely.
for everybody. So
Absolutely.
I think
I
that's
wanna, what were you about to say?
no. I think it was. I really fuck with how you said like we could be interviewing somebody from like WWE or AEW, but 10 times, like 9 times out of 10, a lot of people don't realize like when you take like a collegiate athlete and you drop them in the PC and then they get
Mm-hmm.
fast tracked to NXT or the main roster, they don't really get that same grind as an indie wrestler. Same thing where if you take an artist from Staten Island or St. Louis and you sign them to a deal. Like they just made their first song, you sign them to a deal, fast track them, right? Like they don't
Yeah.
understand that same grind. And yeah, I thought that was pretty inquisitive, Derek.
You know,
That shit
I'm
was
just
mad
putting shit
inquisitive.
together, man. So, you mentioned middle school a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that was the other big connection that me and you found out that we had. Uh, was that earlier this? No, that was last year. That was like a little bit after we actually met in person. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then after I saw you, my first match that I ever saw you wrestling, which we gonna talk about later.
Yeah.
That was a I know that was a really big moment for you. I could imagine at least being a wrestling fan for so long.
Oh yeah.
But let's talk about Carlane VPA Middle School, both of our
Yes,
alma
sir.
mater, and I always
Yes.
tell everybody that's the best middle school in the world, in the
Talk to him.
universe. Like, come
Talk to
on
him.
now, man. So tell
Talk
me
to
about
him.
your experience at Carlane, and even more importantly, your experience on the drum line. The same thing that I got to do. You know, I always reminisce about all those trips that we took out of town with Mr. Phillips and Miss
Yeah.
Younger and Miss Parker. Like, and I think you
Man.
graduated. You graduated in 2009, right?
Yup.
So yeah, I came in the very next year after you because I graduated in 2012.
Mm.
So yeah, I came in right after you. So you still knew some of the people that I knew. Of course, a lot of the teachers were there. So tell me
Oh
about that
yeah.
middle school experience for you.
Man. What's so funny, man? I saw a few at my shoe gig, man. I saw a few folks that I went to Carlane yesterday, and we were just chopping it up about that. And funny enough, I actually saw Miss Younger the day before at the shoot.
Ah,
So um I'll say this, man. Like, what's so crazy is like Carlane always been a part of my life, even before I was enrolled there, because my aunt, Miss Williams, she's the counselor there now. At the
that
time,
was
she was
your
a
aunt.
teacher. Yeah, yeah,
Dang, Miss Williams,
yeah.
we full circle, bro. I
You know what
love
I'm
Miss
saying?
Williams, man.
So like I was always at Carlane. Like whenever my mom couldn't get me from school or ever I had to just like hang out with her and she had to go up to the school, I was with her a lot of the time. So a lot of the teachers that I ended up having during my time while I was enrolled at Carlane, they already knew of me because of Miss Williams and because I was always with her. But
Mm.
man, I don't think it's nothing. I don't think it's nothing about my experience at Carlane that I could even say was bad. Like even the down times, it was like, okay, they bad. Shake that shit off. We good. But nah, man, I would say like I really enjoyed my middle school experience. I tell a lot of people I enjoyed my middle school experience more than I enjoyed my high school experience. Like
Facts.
truthfully, just because of where we were at and what school we was at, because it was always something to do. It was like no matter if you doing dance, you doing music, playing the instrument, in the sports, drama, theater, whether you were doing like the yearbook club or how they had the Purple Velvet Cafe, if you were doing the Purple Velvet Cafe, no anything that you did at Carlane made you stand out. Whether you did just that one thing or you did multiple things, it made you stand out. And I will say, like a lot, and I know this is true for a lot of my classmates that I went to Carlane with. A lot of that time at Carlane really like shaped us into being who we are today. Not even just when we were at middle school and high school. It shaped a lot of our lives, like to who we are today. And what's crazy is a lot of the Carlane alumni still keep up with each other, like more than you would think. You would think you would keep them more with your high school classmates and stuff versus your middle school. Like, nah, whether it's a reunion, whether it's a the spring festival, or just anything, a lot of folk like, and you even saw when he had to play for Talisa's funeral, man, she rest in peace. Just us linking back up and just having those alumni from the drum lines of all different eras. That
Yeah.
you can't make nothing like that, and you can't like you can't what's the word I'm looking for, man? How they say you can't write the shit that you can't write. you can't write that type of like connection that you have with folks, especially going to middle school. Because I can't tell you how many people I can go up to be like, oh, what was your middle school experience like? They'll be like, middle school. Like I can tell you about high school, not middle school, but almost everybody that went to Carlane, they can tell you about their middle school experience going there, whether it was good or whether it was bad. And even if it was bad, they ain't got a lot of bad things to say. Because if it wasn't somebody that if it was somebody or some people or a group of people that they like linked with and they were always with, they always have one, if not a few teachers that really like stood out to them and they were like, hey, I see you going through X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C, or you doing this, that, and the third, but come back down to earth and like really just like sit in that moment. And a lot of that really like helped me out to you know what I'm saying, being the person that I am today. I still, to this day, I still will keep up with folks from Carlane if I don't end up going up there or if I end up just like seeing folks out in public. It's all love. It's all love with folks from Carlane.
Facts. I tell people that all the time, like, you know, with me doing everything that I do, from being a music artist to the podcast to being a substitute teacher and a basketball coach, people are always like, bro, how do you find the time? Carlane prepared me for that because I was dancing, I was singing, I was acting, I was on drumline, I was playing football. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did everything in middle school, and that shaped me into the person that I am today. Like, I like being that busy. I love having just stuff to do every hour of the day, like every day, knowing like, okay, I got to do this today, I got to do that today, I got to do that tomorrow, I got a show this weekend. Like, I love being that busy. It fulfills me. And no doubt, I really love how you highlighted our teachers. I feel like I was just blessed to have so many amazing teachers in my life, but it really started at Carlane for me, where I have all of these teachers that I have connections with to this day, Facebook friends with them. You know what I'm saying? Some of them I may have a phone number or whatever, and I know I can call them if I need some advice. You know what I'm saying? If I need a letter of recommendation, I know I can still call not just my high school teachers. I got middle school teachers I can hit up and be like,
I just did that the other day. I hit up two of my teachers. Well, neither one of them were teachers at Carlane, but they were my high school teachers. But I was trying to, you know, get a job in the school system. So I hit them up. I'm like, hey, I need a favor. I need y'all to do these recommendations so I can get in. And they were like, oh, we thought you had like some trouble. That ain't nothing.
Yeah,
so
you know,
as soon as they sent the recommendations over, they were like, all right, you in the system, you good. Just wait for them to hit you up. So I was like, yes.
Same with me, man. Like, I got a bunch from high school that I can, and a bunch from middle school that I know like still are watching and supporting me. You know what I'm saying? I had them instill, especially middle school, is still like so much confidence in me with like the acting and the music and the drum line. So it was like when as I grew and as I continue to grow, all of those everything that they instilled in me when I was just 12 years old, 13 years old, is still with me to this day. You know what I'm saying? The type of person that I am. So I owe Carlane a lot. I feel you on that so much. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Did you do drumline all 3 years?
Oh yeah.
So
it was no way around it. Like, I want to say, and we all know when the Nick Cannon Drumline movie came out, everybody wanted to do band and stuff like that. But when I think it was when I saw it, and then I saw that movie, and then I actually seen the Drumline do their thing, and then Mr. Phillips already had it in his head like, "Yep, you finna be a bass player. As soon as you get into Carlane, you finna be a bass player."
He was like, "Oh yeah, I got something for you."
Man, I think I'd have played every bass through there. The little bass, the regular medium side bass, the huge giant one with that wood harness on. I played every bass drum you could think of. We had in there. But what's so crazy is almost anytime we have one of those reunions where we like link back up to do like the old classic drumline joints. If it's on another drum, I damn near know how to play it because I would always like pay attention to like how the cadences was and how they set everything up. So I would almost know how to play some of the snare parts. I would almost know how to play some of the trio parts and everything like that. But if we had to have that bass, I'm like, oh yeah, give me the bass. I got it. I got it. You gonna hear it. You gonna hear it and you gonna feel it for sure. For sure.
Yeah, man. I started off on baby bass myself. I went up
Mm-hmm.
to like the medium bass my 7th grade year, and then 8th grade year I did snare, and I was the
Hell yeah.
co-captain. So like you said, I kind of already knew a lot of the snare parts just from like knowing all of the cadences. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So those are some, no doubt, some of my best memories. Shout out to Mr. Phillips, man. Always
For
been a
sure.
real one to this day. You know
For
what I'm
sure.
saying? Uh, what what would be, if you remember, your favorite like out of town trip that you took with Drumline?
That's a tie, bro. It's a tie between doing the Circle City Classic in Indianapolis,
You
or
did that every year. They had
man,
that shit.
or every time we went to Jackson State. Strictly
Ooh! Hey,
strictly because I knew Miss Younger was gonna turn up because that's her alma
that's all.
mater.
Yeah,
So anytime we went to either Indianapolis or Jackson, like it was always a good time. Like them bus rides were lovely. The
bro.
sleep the
Hey,
sleep you got on that bus after you were done.
bro. After them parades, and then especially if you did like a competition at the day after the parade, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that is
Man.
night sleep. You on there with all the young ladies, you feel me? The whole
Uh-huh.
squad on there. You got
Man.
Miss Young, you got Miss Younger sitting in between the boys and the girls, trying to make sure don't
Yup.
no boys sneak back there. If you go to the
Yup.
bathroom, you gotta come right back. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like, bro, it
For
was just
real.
such good times, bro. And at that time, I just feel like in middle school, like, obviously some people probably grew up worse than others, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I just feel like in middle school, you don't have no worries, you know what I'm saying? You
Nah.
just living life, you enjoying life, just having fun before the world really hits you, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So like those are the perfect times to be doing that. I would definitely say for me it was probably Indianapolis, definitely is up there for me. I love doing that all 3 years.
Yeah.
Because we got to perform, y'all used to perform in the dome too, right?
Did we ever perform in that? Ah, yep, yep. My
And
age
Lucas
is
and
showing.
Lucas Oil Fields. So we used to
No, we
like,
didn't. We didn't.
I
I
didn't.
think. I think. I think my eighth grade year, either my 7th grade or 8th grade year, they were just building the Lucas Oil. No, I lied. My 7th grade year, they were just building the stadium. My 8th grade year, it was already done. And then I want to say, I I don't think we performed in the dome. Like we did the parade, of course.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if we even did any competitions like that same day after that. Cause most of the times after we were done, we would pack up the bus. Folks would go, change it to our jogging suits, and then we just hit the mall.
Hit
Hit the
the
mall
mall,
down
oh, bro.
Sunday.
I was gonna say, bro, used to hit that
Yeah.
mall in Indianapolis, come out with all stuff, bro.
Yep.
Like I always used to guy. I need at least $200-300 when I hit the mall, mama. You know what I'm saying? Make sure
Man.
I'm coming back with some new clothes and shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
everybody, we running around the food court and stuff. Everybody in their
Yep.
jogging suits, man. That was
I know
good
they was
time,
looking at
bro.
us like, who are these motherfuckers in
Who do
these
you hear
jogging
me?
suits?
And then if they hear us talk, they gonna be like, they are not from here, man. Where the fuck these
Man,
country motherfuckers from?
you
You
know what I'm
know what I'm
saying?
saying?
For real. But
That
yeah,
stuff.
I don't think we did. I don't think we performed in the dome. And if we did, it's escaping me right now. But I can't remember us actually performing on the field in the Lucas Oil Stadium. Nah.
Yeah. Jackson State up there for me too. And then I don't know if y'all went to Kansas City every year, but we went to Kansas City for this competition. My seventh and
Oh.
8th grade year, we did. We might have did in my 6th grade year too. I can't remember, but I know we
Mm,
did in my 7th, my 8th grade year, and we like won the competition. Like we was coming in, cleaning house,
mm.
beating every Kansas City drum line. Like it was an all drum line competition too. You know
That's
what I'm
good
saying? So it
shit.
was like we was coming in, hey, talking shit and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like we coming there, we expect to win. You know what I'm saying? Like especially my 8th grade year, like I was getting on people's head leading up to it
Uh-huh.
because I'm like, bro, we didn't won this every year. We
Can't
go,
lose
we
it.
we can't lose my last year. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So the stuff
I
like
will
that.
say, man, the one thing that make our drum line special, aside from a lot of other ones, is I think we were one of the only few that did not have no type of horns, like at all.
Yep.
Like I don't think because all 3 of my years, I know we didn't have no trumpets, no
Nothing.
flutes, clarinets, saxophones, like none of that. It was strictly just percussion. Then you had the cheerleaders, you had the dancers, the flag girls, and then the drum majors and the cymbals. I don't think any of any of my years for sure. I don't know if they switched
Yeah,
it
we
up when you were
ain't
there.
have it with us too. I think they got it now with
Okay,
bro
yeah.
that's running the program now. But in
Like
most of, I don't think in none
shout
of
out to
Mr.
my
Phillips'
brother.
years. I
Yeah,
don't
shout
think
out
in
to
none of
my
Mr.
brother
Phillips'
Craig though.
years. Yeah, he killing it. He killing it right now.
Facts.
I always wonder, like, when Mr. Phillips retired, who's gonna take over? You know what I'm saying? I think he chose the right person.
Oh yeah, like they ain't missed a beat. They ain't missed a beat. Nah, G got them together, like for sure. I seen them at a couple of practices before, and I was like, oh, it's like Mr. Phillips never left. They just turned it up a little bit. So
Yeah, they
I
got
I
the
love
horns
that
and
though.
stuff now. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So it's perfect. It's perfect for real, for real. I love Carlane. I'm always love Carlane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's get into your professional wrestling training. You said you
For sure.
you kind of started in 2017, really got
Mhm.
going in 2018.
Yeah.
What was that? This is a question I love to ask everybody. What was that first day like for you?
Absolute hell. Because it was nothing but just learning how to bump and just learning how to bump and learning how to hit the ropes. Especially going into it, like everything that you think you know about wrestling and how to like perform actually in the ring is way different from when your trainer actually instructs you, like, okay, this is how you do this is how you do that, this is how you hit the ropes and things like that. And I try not, especially when I get questions like this, I try not to like tell everything that we learned and everything that we do, because and I don't care what the fuck WWE is doing with that Unreal shit, like they pulling back
Right.
the curtain, showing all that. Like I was always trained, like my first original trainer, Mike Outlaw, he always told me, he was
Shout out
like,
Mike
protect,
Outlaw. That's
man,
another person we want to bring on the pod for sure.
for sure. He always told me, like, protect the business, regardless if kayfabe is quote unquote dead or whatever the fuck. Like, you protect the business always, because the business don't owe you nothing. So I always like, especially when I get those kind of questions like out of public, folks be like, "Oh, is it? Oh, is it real? Is it fake? Do you know this? Do you know that?" My answer is always, "Here, you want to know if it's real? Lift your shirt up and take a chop." That's my answer. That's my answer. I always tell folks is I'm like, don't ask me nothing like that. Like you don't go up and ask no artist like, oh, did you actually write that, or did you have ghost writers and shit like that? Or you don't ask no actor or no voice actor, did they really like, perform, the lines that they sing, or did they limp sync, or did they actually do their own stunts or anything like that? Yeah, you don't ask folks like stuff like that. So I always keep that in my forefront of like, no matter what the outside world, especially with social media now, they done ruined it a lot for folks. But excuse me, I always try to make it my business to always protect the business and always like keep those little, like, those little secrets and those tricks of the game like to the tuck. And then if you know what I'm saying. But nah, that first day in training was literally just nothing but bumps in the ropes. Nothing but, honestly, for real, I want to say that was my like first week, was just nothing but bumps in the ropes, and then just learning the international, and then uh learning the international, and then learning shines and everything. And then as the weeks, went on to progress, learn more things, learn different things. And then they started tailoring more to your size and more to your, like, what they call the weight class and everything like that. Granted, until like Outlaw and Camaro had came along and really started like showing me how to like work as a big man and be a big man, I didn't really have that many like big man trainers. But I always, aside from them, I would always have folks I could like ask, what I'm saying, okay, as a big man, how would you do this? As a big man, how would you do that? So I would yeah, I would say that's probably how, yeah, that's definitely how my first couple of days of first week in training was. Just nothing but ropes, bumps, and then just taking notes, honestly.
So with essentially your first week being hell and them kind of running you through the ringer early on. I feel
Mhm.
like that first day of wrestling training, from everything that I've heard, obviously, me and my uncle growing up together, he first started training. I heard about his first day, and that's something that
Yeah.
I love to ask people because I feel like, growing up, I played padded football. I feel like it's the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That first time you get hit, you do that Oklahoma drill, or that first time that you take the bump,
Yep.
that is meant to make or break you and to see if this really what you want to do. So
Exactly.
did you question yourself at all on that, or did you just know like, okay, this is hard, but this is what I want to do and I'm gonna push through?
Nah, I didn't really even question myself. Because well, one, because I was paying for it out of my own pocket, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I didn't have like, no type of support or no no outside funding or nothing like that. I really was just like paying for that out of my own pocket, especially like my first few months of training. Um Nah, I didn't second guess nothing. I was like, I'm here, this is what I'm doing. And then the other thing that really lit that fire up under me was like my community of folks that actually knew I wanted to wrestle and they knew this is what I wanted to do, especially from the music scene. And you've been outside with me and my folks. You got the domino effect, the whole cold blooded family, you got Rockwell Knuckles, you got T Dubbo, Tef Poe, everybody in that like immediate like circle of like those crop of artists, and even just the overall Slumfest crop of artists for real, when they found out I wanted to do it, and they was like, oh, so we finna have a wrestler in the family. You doing this? So I was like,
Right.
well, I kind of can't quit now. even when um even when I got hurt in training and I was like sidelined for almost a year with like a neck injury and like a chest contusion, which is crazy. And at that time, like I was still, still living my everyday life, but that was one of those times I was like, I don't like smoking no more. Like, cause it hurt to like breathe in. But my brother Rocky, he was telling me, he was like, maybe we don't need to do this. I'm like, bro, we 3 years in. I'm not quitting, dog. Like, what are you like? We not finna just like drop this. So I think that was another thing that really kept me going was that them two, and then also just not only necessarily just like proving folks wrong when they were like, oh, you can't do this because you're not gonna be able to make a living off of this, or you can't do this because if you get hurt, blah 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 blah, whatever. That wasn't even like what was deterring me. It was just like really just having that battle with myself, you know what I'm saying? And just looking at myself in the mirror every day, be like, all right, so you said you're gonna do this, you in it now. Ain't no telling when you're going to cross that line to actually be good. And you know what I'm saying? How they say you got to get your 10,000 hours, and I lost count because at the end of the day, it's always something to learn and it's always something to gain, especially with wrestling. So I always just tell myself, I'm like, at the end of the day, we got to keep going. We got to keep doing this because the day that we stop, we could be one more step there. We could be just right there getting to your next part. So shut up, Alexa. My bad. God damn it. Yeah, shut that shit up. But yeah, I would say that's probably one of the things that really like kept me going. And and I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of, especially, I'm no different than anybody else, because even wrestlers in WWE, they had their moments when they doubt themselves.
Yeah.
I don't never let those thoughts like deter me from doing what I'm doing. So even on those days where I'm like, yeah, this might be it. We might have to hang it up, might have to wrap it up. I'm like, nah, we doing this. We doing this. And every time I put that foot forward and we keep moving, I get a little bit better. I learn a little bit more, and I know I get a little step closer to my overall goal. And a lot of folks, like some folks will tell you like, oh, their ultimate goal is to be in WWE. Their ultimate goal is to make money in business, this, that, and the third. While that is true, but also it's not the be all end all, especially in wrestling. So I just
Especially nowadays.
yeah,
Especially nowadays, you know what I'm
there's
saying?
so many places you can go, whether
And
you
still make a
stay on
good living for yourself.
hmm
You know what I'm saying?
whether you stay
Obviously,
on the indies. My
yeah,
fault, my fault, my
obviously,
bad.
No, you good. Obviously, we all, I would say that's my goal, even as a music artist. Like, I personally don't want to be signed by a label. But I
Yeah,
don't care to be the most famous artist. I don't care to be the most the richest artist in the world and make a Forbes list. Like, if I can do that, great. But I want to
facts.
be able to live off of my art. You know what I'm saying? I
Hmm.
want to be able to make a living off of my art and provide for me and my family and take care of my community off of my art, off of my talent, off of my passion. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? So I see that with a lot. I feel like more and more pro wrestlers, the tide has turned. I think 10 years ago for sure it was like WWE, unless you
Yeah.
go into New Japan. You know what I'm saying? Unless you go on
Hmm.
to Japan, WWE was it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you could make a decent living on the indies, but now with AEW and TNA still like being here, TNA is like a cockroach. Impact TNA will not die. You know what I'm saying? So
Man.
with all of these different options that you have, obviously with streaming, you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
PWE is on streaming. You know what I'm saying, you can stream
Yeah.
PWE. So with all of these different things, and the way things work, obviously you got certain people who just building up their YouTube channel and monetizing their YouTube channel to help build their company and pay their wrestlers more and to bring in bigger names. So it's
Yeah.
just so many different ways that you can legit make a living as an indie wrestler, same as an indie artist. That like,
Hmm.
while of course everybody grew up being like shit, I wanted to be a wrestler when I was growing up, being WWE. That's what we thought. But as you get older,
Yeah.
you start realizing like that's not the be all end all. I can still
Hmm.
be a success without making it to the WWE.
Yeah. Man, it was what's funny is when I first started like training and everything, I wanted to go to New Japan. I wanted to wrestle in New Japan. Um, but I had actually not got discouraged, but I heard a lot of what they call like ghost stories with one of the schools that was like a direct pipeline into New Japan. And almost every wrestler that was from the states and went over that I heard of, at least from St. Louis. They always say like, it's not worth it. It's gonna like they don't really like train you. But then too, that's their experience. I probably would have had a different experience, but also in the same time, I'm like, well, it might be another way to get there versus versus doing how they did it or versus you know, uh just I lost my damn train of thought, but it was no. It's other ways to get there other than just going through that one school or just trying to like jump ship like straight over there because they don't just take anybody. Like New Japan, they damn near like WWE. They don't just take anybody. You gotta be like cut from that to actually make it through there. But yeah, it's so many ways to make money, and there's other promotions to actually make money in. And the funny thing you said about TNA, when I was younger, before I started wrestling, when I was just a fan, just like a strictly just a fan, I always thought of TNA being like that. It was like that home for like the indie wrestlers that didn't get picked up by WWE, but at the same
Facts.
time, it was also in a way damn near what they would call like a retirement home for all the wrestlers that would like leave WWE and
Hmm.
still want a contract and still want to be on TV. So you would end up seeing them on TNA.
TNA. Facts.
But I love how they had such a resurgence and a rebranding that they became one of those other top promotions. So it's like you can't ignore them now, especially with the partnership that they have with WWE now. You can't ignore TNA. Because
Facts.
with uh not even just the partnership that they got with NXT, but before when they would have wrestlers who would leave WWE and go over there, like Naomi, Trinity, prime example. When they
Facts.
had that walkout and then she ended up getting picked up by TNA and becoming knockout champion. And it really ended up helping her and them get put on the map in a way. So I think as far as like her story goes, I like how they did that because when she came back to WWE, it was one of those like, okay, we see you can do this. You've done it outside, you've done it in other places. Let's try it here. And a lot of people didn't like her switch up, her heel turn before she left for her pregnancy. But I love how they played that, and it was one of them things where they where she showed like, hey, I can do this just as bad as anybody else here and damn near better. Because regardless of if she was supposed to be a heel, they were still eating it up. They were still chanting for her. They were still
I thought it
like
was amazing personally. Like that was one of my favorite characters in WWE over 2025. Like I thought she was knocking it out of
facts.
the park. Shout out to Trinity. And I'm a big Mercedes stan. So shout out to Mercedes too.
I
I'm
feel
still
that,
so
yeah.
proud of them for like standing up for themselves in a business like this. You know what I'm saying? Because so
Yeah.
especially when you in the WWE to do what they did and then go
Mm-hmm.
leave WWE and become even bigger than what they were in WWE. And of course, Naomi Trinity chose to come back. Obviously, that was
Yeah.
her home. You know, her husband's there. You know what I'm saying? It made sense for her to come back. But for both
Mm-hmm.
of them to just like bet on themselves, I think, you know, as an indie wrestler, as an indie artist, we can relate to that so much because it's in everything that we doing, we betting on ourselves.
Absolutely.
Everything that we do, we are betting on ourselves to prove people wrong, to surpass even our expectations, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Definitely.
that was so dope for them. A couple more questions for you. Let's get
Sure.
into that first match that I saw from you personally.
Yeah.
Bittersweet Lockdown.
Uh-huh.
You got to go toe to toe. You came in and cleared house, first and foremost. Let's say off that. You came in and cleared house.
Yeah.
And then the last man out, you were second to last out, right? To get
Uh-huh.
released. And then
Yeah,
the
yeah,
last
yeah.
man, you get to stand toe to toe with the War Machine, Rhino. What was
Yeah,
that
man.
like, man? What was that like?
It was crazy. It was really crazy because I remember the pop that I got by being released from the handcuffs and just going in and clearing house. And then you get that Rhino pop when he just breaks his handcuffs and we just staring at each other in the middle of the ring. It was one of them moments where I was like, okay, I can really hang with the big dogs. Like I can hang with these guys and I can go toe to toe with them. And that was one of them moments that really solidified it for me because regardless of the outcome, the fact that I actually were able to share the ring with Rhino and like somebody who's been at the top, who's been in almost every promotion you can think of, to share that moment with him and to hear the fans like really reacting, and in that moment, of course, I'm still just looking at it like, okay, yeah, we finna go at it, we finna throw blows, but I'm also trying to pay attention to the fans and everything. I'm trying to peep like who they cheering for, who they booing. But you just heard all cheers, so they were just. It was one of them. What they be saying, the big beady men slapping meat. It was just one of them moments where
Yeah.
we were just going at it. So that it was cool, man. It was really cool. But it was all. I also in my head I was like, okay, that was cool. I want more of that. And not necessarily saying like the multi-man matches aren't like my thing, but I was like, okay, I can do this with him, but this is also a multi-man match, so we had other factors in it. How would this be on, one-on-one type of ordeal? Like I want that, and I want to experience that. So and funny enough, what you saying that another one of my favorite matches that I've had since I've been in the business is when I went up against Jake something in Glory Pro. Because at the time he's back and forth on the Indies and doing TNA, but the fact that I actually had that opportunity to again hang with him and throw blows with him, and excuse me, in my head I'm sitting here thinking like, and especially at that time, at first I'm like, man, ain't no way I'm gonna be able to make this happen. I'm finna all this up. Nah. Nah, it was smooth. It was smooth, and that was one of at that moment then, and then also when I had that match, the multi-man match with Rhino, with the bittersweet lockdown match. I'm like, I can really hang with these dudes, like, which also reminds me, I'm like, they're people at the end of the day. Like, they've been at these positions, they've been down, they've been, you know what I'm saying, on the indies, they've been grinding their way up. So I'm no different than them. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about perspective and what you're gonna end up doing with that. So yeah, like those moments right there, but especially that one with Rhino, yeah. I'm always remember those them moments for sure.
That's those moments are very very special. I know when me and you first met, I was getting ready to open up for our truth. So like
Yeah.
things like that, being able to say, "Damn, I opened up for our truth." And now this year, I did Paint Lewis for the first time. That's something that was, that
Congrats, man.
graffiti wall. That graffiti wall is a part of my career to this day. I
Facts.
got to do. We doing music at the intersection tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to
Yeah.
say like I'm doing music at the intersection, and then next week Slum Fest or something that
Uh-huh.
I really like came onto the scene and got even noticed by Slumfest off my first project in like 2018, this summer 2018 though. So I didn't
Yeah.
get on the 2018 lineup. I didn't get on the 2019 lineup because I didn't even really know how to submit or nothing. And
Mm-hmm.
then the pandemic hit. And now Slumfest is finally back when I know what I'm doing and I'm able to be a part of this. So just those monumental moments, those matches, um, is really, really dope to see. So
Yeah.
uh I'm congratulations already and congratulations for everything that you are about to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? I know those anytime that we have self-doubt, which comes with any field, any career, you're gonna doubt
Yeah.
yourself for a moment. Those are things that you can look back on and be like, but I did this. And remember
Mm-hmm.
that moment and be like, I did this when I was new to the scene. Imagine what I'm
Right.
gonna do 5 years from now, you know what I'm saying? When I'm a decade in, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Uh, the
Exactly.
Jet, shout out to Benjamin Trust. He said this when we interviewed him,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a classic saying. It takes 10 years to be an overnight success. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
people don't see the 10 years that went into you reaching all of these achievements. So you are somebody that when I see wrestle in that ring and I see come out, you have the total package. You know what I'm saying? You have the total package. Hearing you talk,
Appreciate
you
that.
have the total package in ring, outside the ring. You're a damn good person, but you're also a motherfucker that you don't want to fuck with. You know what I'm saying? So
Fact, yeah.
and those are great qualities of a pro wrestler. A great
Yeah.
person, but it's still a motherfucker you don't want to fuck with. You don't want to get
You
on this
know,
person's bad side. You know what I'm saying? So
facts.
it's dope to see. Two really big questions to end off for you. Uh
Yeah.
Two of my favorites. First and foremost, Mount Rushmore favorites. It ain't gotta be the
Mm-hmm.
greatest, but your favorite four professional wrestlers, and you can give an honorable mention as well.
All right. Hmm. Uh. Shit. let's get my most recent favorite one out of the way. Bray fucking Wyatt. R.I.P.
Woo! R.P. Bray Wyatt, man.
And these are in no particular order, but Bray was one of those ones that came up in the new crop of wrestlers that I really gravitated towards because he was so abstract and he was so different with his approach with not only just wrestling but just with promos and everything. But definitely Bray for fucking sure. Minoru Suzuki, in my opinion, I think he one of the best heels in the business, whether in Japan, America, because he's so sadistic. But when you meet him in real life, you don't think he got that side to him. But when you see him in a ring, it's like, oh, this motherfucker is crazy.
Hey,
But for real.
legit, legit.
So we got Bray, Minoru, uh just for the kid in me, I gotta throw Cena up there, especially with the retirement tour he on. I gotta throw Cena in the mix. And hell, shit, Stone Cold. Stone Cold.
Love it.
My honorable mention would be Booker T. If I
Okay.
could swap anybody else out on the list and throw Booker T on the you know what I'm saying, on the list, Booker T will definitely be up there too. But yeah, that's Mount Rushmore.
I fucks with that. I feel like you cover every facet of pro wrestling. You got
Yeah.
like an all-time great heel that's known for New Japan. You got John Cena, who you can't argue with John Cena. You can't argue with Stone
Nah.
Cold Steve Austin. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm
And I was
saying?
a Cena hater growing up. You know what I'm saying? I was
Facts.
one of the Cena sus guys, but I can admit like I'm gonna
Yeah.
miss John Cena when
You know
this
what I'm
run is
saying?
over with. I'm gonna miss John Cena. It's gonna be like, damn, I'm never gonna see a John Cena match again. Like this,
You
a
know?
new one at least. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna miss.
Yeah.
And then of course, Booker T, great choice as well. And Bray
Hell
Wyatt.
yeah.
Bray Wyatt was somebody that was on the way to having a career that was even in his short time, like what 10 years basically him being on the main
Mm-hmm.
roster from you know what I'm saying? Like, come on
Mm-hmm.
now. Even going back to his NXT days, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
on the original game show NXT, like Bray Wyatt had such a historic run in such a short time, and it was only getting better. It was only getting better. So
They didn't
I
even
love
scratch
that
the
list.
surface, man. Like I know God was up there like, wait a minute, what you doing up here?
Really, like, hold on,
You ain't
bro.
even hit
Like,
your potential.
yeah, man, it's crazy, but his impact will live on forever, man. His impact will live on forever.
Most
Um,
definitely.
last but not least, we got to bring a
Yeah.
full circle with the music. Um, your top 5 favorite pro wrestling theme songs of all time.
Ooh, we okay. Um, hmm, hmm. No particular order. No particular order. The top 5 things of all time. Of course, Stone Cold with the glass break.
Classic.
Uh, Bray Wyatt's Fiend theme, which was the Cold Orange remix of his original theme.
Mm-hmm.
So we got them. Voices, Randy Orton voices.
Voices, yeah.
If I could have threw him on the list for Mount Rushmore too, I would have. But I only had 5. So we got Stone Cold, we got the Cold Orange, Bray Wyatt joint. We got Voices. Number 4, DX, because the minute that guitar hits, you already know what's gonna happen. So DX, and then it's so many though. It's so many themes.
This is a tough question. Always, this is a tough question.
Hell, fuck it. We gotta throw Trish Stratus theme in there just because Lil Kim did the fucking verse.
Lil Kim snap.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And I'm a Trish. I was a Trish stan before any women's wrestler. So hey,
see, I'm and then now I'm in my head. I'm thinking of more things that could have been on this list. I'm like, damn, Eddie Guerrero theme just popped in my head.
Eddie Guerrero's is I cheat. That's an all-time classic. Obviously, Edge. Obviously, Edge is one that's like
I'm an idiot.
I'm an idiot.
I gotta throw that one in there too.
Like, bro, we could go on and on with it. Like, pro wrestling things are so freaking amazing. Like, even back to the days when like I legit thought that it was the wrestlers. I think everybody thought like the wrestlers really did their own theme songs. Like it straight sounded like
Big
them.
Show one in the studio singing. Well, man, I was like, dog, ain't no way. And then when you find out that they not singing their themes, it's like, wait a minute, I was robbed. Get your ass in the booth.
Hey, shout out Jim Johnson, man. I think you almost named all Jim Johnson joints. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, like Jim Johnson was killing it. Obviously, it just hits and misses since then. We need Jim back though. Jim ain't missed. Jim ain't missed. Jim had everybody with something that fit them. It was distinctive. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a dope time. Like even the Chavo, like everybody had a banger, bro. Like everybody had a banger.
So hard.
Everybody had a straight banger back in the day, man. It was. But that's one of my favorite questions, especially to bring it back to music and pro wrestling. Two of the things that I love the most, man. Really
Yeah.
enjoyed having you on here, and I look forward to bringing you back
Oh
when you
yeah,
the
this ain't.
PWE, when you the interstate champion
Oh
after
yeah,
this
this ain't the
Saturday,
last
man.
time I'm gonna be
I
on
look
here for
forward to
sure.
bringing you back with the belt on your shoulder. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
So
Yeah, man.
definitely looking forward to seeing where you go next in your career, man. You know, we all will be watching.
Likewise, man.
You got 3 fans in us for sure, for sure. We got you followed on IG. You know, I'll follow you on
For
TikTok,
sure.
all that stuff. So looking forward to just seeing what life brings you in general and what is next for you in your career. I believe is the PWE Interstate Championship. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. We
So
bringing that belt home, baby, for sure.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's long overdue. It's long overdue. It's been over a year since you were a champion in PWE.
Over a year.
So
Over a year.
it's time to run that back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
man.
all
We
we got
need
here
it.
today, y'all. You know what it is, man. It's a Say I Quit podcast, the best motherfucking wrestling podcast in the world, man. Make sure y'all follow Big Munch, Marcus Munch 314.
For
You can follow him
sure.
at that on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, man. Find him on Facebook as well. Just search up Big Munch on Facebook and you're gonna find this guy. Man, again,
Man.
appreciate you joining us, man. Looking forward to seeing what you do next. Just
Appreciate
Say
you
I
having me
Quit
on,
podcast,
man.
man. It's just too sick.
Sweet. Let's go.
Yes, sir.